Many businesses today are making a major mistake in thinking that they're going to grow and scale their business using one channel or another in the digital landscape. Maybe they think that they're going to just do Facebook ads. Maybe they think they're just going to do SEO, or maybe they think they're just going to run Google ads. And I'm here to tell you that after 14 years experience of running a digital marketing agency, helping well over 400 or 500 clients grow their businesses online, we are finding more and more today that you have to have a diversified approach to what we call an omni-channel approach to growing your brand, generating leads and sales online. And in this video, I'd like to talk about a very simple, quick fix, at least strategically, that I'd like you to think about for you to go back to your team and talk to, or take a look at what you're doing with your current agency, your current consultant, or your staff, so that you can position yourself to continue to succeed in this ever-changing and blended digital landscape. The major reality that we all have to face today is that the buyer's journey isn't linear. Buyers no longer go from step 1 to step 2 to step 3 to step 4 to buying the product or service. We are all over the place. In recent studies, even from Google has a formula called 11, 7, and 4, which says that the average consumer in a purchase journey will need 11 touch points, 7 hours of interaction with your brand or brand familiarity across at least 4 channels before they're ready to buy. Now, Google's in a unique position because they can see all of that through the properties that they own and through the commerce and SEO and YouTube. And the thing that we forget about as business owners is that is our customer too. So often business owners and CEOs that we talk to, they try to say, well, that's them, that's not us. Or because our product is this, we should be able to do it this way. And I'm here to tell you that the shift that you need to make in your thinking and in your strategy is you've got to come up with an omni-channel plan, which means you need to be present on Google from an SEO perspective. You need to also be running Google ads. You might need to also be doing YouTube. You might be also doing social media, whether that's LinkedIn or Facebook or Instagram or whatever that might be for you. Maybe it's TikTok, who knows? But the thing is when we say this to our clients, it doesn't mean you have to be everywhere all at once, but you need a strategic plan that ties your content with your ads, with your brand to meet your customers where they are so that you can see an accelerated level of results. Another problem we see when we're talking to business owners about this idea that your buyer's journey isn't linear anymore is that they are too heavily dependent on one specific type of offer or one specific type of presentation of their offer. What do I mean by that? Well, you're stuck on just the idea that the only way for someone to interact with your brand is to get a quote or a free consultation or a strategy call or to get a coupon to buy and save 50% off on your first purchase on your e-commerce. And so what I'm here to tell you and get you to consider is the possibility that that is thinking in marketing of old. That's thinking in the marketing of old. What do I mean by that? Well, because buyers are not always ready to buy today, they might acknowledge that they've got a problem. They might acknowledge that they want to solve some sort of pain point in their life. And your product or solution might be one of those options. But what's really interesting is if you're not meeting them in these different platforms and being top of mind using a strategy we call retargeting and remarketing and re-engagement, you're likely going to miss the highest level of conversion when it comes to those people being ready to make a decision. So how do we fix this problem for most of our clients? Well, in our agency and in our inner circle, we talk about in our 90-day sprint process, we talk about an integrated way to blend our organic marketing with our content marketing and our ads. And it's a really simple framework in theory, and most of our clients who believe that people buy from them, their company, their brand, because of the know, like, and trust factor, this works extremely well. And here's kind of how it works. We literally talk to the subject matter experts of the company. And instead of them sitting behind the scenes, we interview them as if it was going to be on a podcast or as if they were going to be interviewed by an industry publication. And we literally pick their brains over about 60 or 90 days. We break this up in several different sessions. And let me be clear, anyone can do this, even if you just have a smartphone. You do not need fancy production equipment, fancy audio, fancy video, although as long as you've got an iPhone or something like this, you're going to be in great shape. But the thing about it is we spend time to understand the problems, the pains, the concerns, the frustrations. We really pick apart everything that these customers of our clients' businesses are worried about, are concerned with, that could show their head in the buyer's journey. And then we proliferate this content all over the web. We might do it in the form of blog posts, but we'll take the blog posts and we'll turn that into social media posts. We'll turn the social media posts into ads. We'll turn some of those into clips for video. We will literally take the expertise of these customers and use their brand expertise as the leverage and influence to show up in an omni-channel way. And the funny thing is, it's always been available, but most people think that you have to create unique content for every platform. But if we go back to the idea that a buyer today, according to Google, is caught in the messy middle of doing all of these different things. They start on Google and then they end up on social media tonight, and then they end up watching a YouTube video tomorrow, and then next week they're on TikTok, and then the following week they're doing something on LinkedIn in a LinkedIn group. That's your customer too. So how can you be everywhere without it feeling overwhelming to your team? Because most of our clients have small to mid-sized teams. Either they have 0 or 1 marketer on the team, or maybe they have 3 or 4. At any rate, we want to do something that's efficient. And so this process of leveraging your content, your organic, and your ads to blend together is a framework we call Content Ads Convert. And we walk with our clients through this methodology so that it changes how they approach content, leads, and sales on a holistic level so that you can get more leverage in today's digital landscape. Some people ask us, well, what if I have a small team? How am I supposed to get all of this stuff across all of these different platforms? Well, the first thing to understand is that AI is your friend today. We're not a fan of just running into AI and having AI spit out content for all of these different platforms. While you can, you will be found out. Because what you're going to find is if you just run to any of these AI tools, which are magnificent, they're all great, you all have them, the reality is it's going to start with what the average of the information is that it's crawled or learned on from the internet. And you don't want your brand to be associated with average, do you? So what you want to do is use your thought leadership, use your expertise. And by doing these simple interview processes that we take our clients through, we can then get all of the IP, all of the thought leadership, all of the unique ways that you think about it, your point of view, your brand's history, and it's in a position where we can then have AI augment and accelerate the ability to create all of this content. The vast majority of you are just working too hard, or you're thinking it's more complex than it is. And by the way, once you do this once, you can literally put it on rinse and repeat every 6 to 12 weeks. And so that your marketing campaigns get a fresh new look and your business continues to grow in prominence with your ideal customers. So the takeaway that I have for you today is if you're looking to make sure that you are present on multiple channels, and if you do buy into the idea that there are now multiple touch points needed by your prospect along the buyer's journey, and that they will be on multiple platforms because they are, and they might need to spend more time with your brand before they're ready to buy, then start doing this today. I would have you sit down and talk to your sales team if you have one, and extract the last 5 to 10 sales calls that your team have had, and start to pick out the 5 to 10 to 15 questions that those buyers were asking during that process. Then set aside some time in a conference room or in your virtual workspace and just talk about how your brand solves those problems. Not in a sales context, but just educate, inform, inspire, speak to, overcome the objection in a very casual way. What we do today with these phones, literally you can just take your phone out and turn on the voice app and just start articulating your point of view, articulate your value proposition, articulate how you handle customer service, articulate why your brand's better than another brand, articulate the old way versus the new way that your team does it, articulate the way that you've decided to approach your product or service in the marketplace today that's different than it used to be or different than your competitors. Just catch yourself every time you get a chance documenting the way you do it there. And that then becomes the seed that your internal marketing team can use to leverage with AI tied to getting content in the right format for the right platforms without overwhelming your team. Again, we call that a content ads that converts framework in our business. If you're interested in learning more about that, there's a couple of links down below. You can choose the path that makes the most sense for you, but I would encourage you to subscribe to this channel if this has made any sense, and if you're looking to continue to shift your mind about digital marketing so you can continue to grow your business in these changing times into the future.